Here is a whole bunch of information for Jeep owners when it comes to the WK2 and the engine mounts. We get asked a lot of questions on social media and on the phones and emails about these mounts. So we're going to try and clear a lot of this up for you. It's the same part number, left and right. Doesn't matter if it's a right-hand drive or whatever. They're the same mount left and right, and they are the same mount for all engine options in a WK2. So a 6.4, a 6.2, a 5.7, a 3.6, or a 3-litre diesel, they all use the same engine mounts. So you just got to get the mount. It doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about part numbers as long as obviously it's compatible with the WK2. Now, the main issue that goes wrong with these mounts are filled hydraulically. They've got liquid inside them. They effectively operate as like a mini shock absorber, for want of a better description. And that liquid absorbs the shock of your engine twisting and vibrating just as it runs. So what's most common is usually the driver's side in most vehicles, particularly the V8s, because of the torque when you're accelerating, the engine wants to do this. So the driver's side is the most common one for failing. When they fail, they start to look like this. So if you can see this from underneath, you usually can see this. If it's starting to crack like this, your mount's not far away from busting. And then when they do fail, if I can get in there, oh, this one's gone already. There's no liquid left in there. This one, as you can see, this brown, dirty water look is the fluid leaking out. So if you've got any WK2 and you've got like a chocolate milkshake looking color, if it's leaking across your front diff housing or the subframe, you've got a failed engine mount. So if you're seeing that chocolate milkshake color underneath your car, it's going to be your engine mount. The other issues that you might experience with a failed engine mount, you'll have a harsh vibration through the car, or you'll have a knocking noise on heavy acceleration. You get a dunk, dunk. So some common mistakes that people are making. When you're doing the driver's side on a diesel, you need to remove the alternator, disconnect your battery before you do that, because at the back of your alternator, you've got live power. You don't want to be mucking around with live power while you're swinging spanners around. All of these have a little heat shield that goes around them. That's to protect the rubber from heat generated by the engine. If you leave that off, you're going to shorten the lifespan of your new engine mount. You can leave it off, but you're likely to have to do a new engine mount. Jeep put it there for a reason. It insulates and protects the mount to some extent from engine heat. So make sure you put that back. If you've done an engine mount and you've got a V8 and you've got knock sensor codes, you've damaged the knock sensor, be careful if you're doing a V8, the knock sensors are very close to the bracket. The easiest way to do these on all engines is to jack the engine up a little bit, take the mounts off that are on the side of the block, and then replace it. You don't need to drop the subframe out of the car or lower the subframe. You just take those brackets off. Like I said, if it's a V8 and if you're worried, take your knock sensors off before you do it. The final thing that we see a lot of people making mistakes with is they leave this nut on the top loose. It's the last thing you do, and you usually start it by hand. If you forget about that and you go for a drive and you still got a knocking noise, there's a high probability this nut is not tight enough. So that's pretty much it for engine mounts in WK2s.